everybody, welcome and thank you for taking the time today to spend with me. Oh boy, the royals, honestly, it is currently one big shit show. I told you weeks ago that Auntie Anne was not too happy about how her one brother treated the other brother. Yes, she felt and still feels that Charles went overboard with his actions against Andrew. She is indeed very worried about Andrew's mental health. Allegedly, Edward and Sophie feels exactly the same. They also feel that William and Catherine are also overreacting. They need not be best mates, they need not invite Andrew for dinner, but he certainly does not pose a danger to their children. That is how Edward and Sophie feels. Now, Forest Lodge is somewhere around 4 miles or 6.4 kilometers from Royal Lodge. Although it is a good distance, I guess William or Catherine were afraid that Andrew would hit his golf balls into their territory. I don't know, but I'm told that both Anne and Edward feel that Marsh Farm will be far too isolated for Andrew. Living at Marsh Farm alone cannot be good for his mental health. And I have to agree with Anne on that one. Regardless of who he is and what he may or may not have done, to drop him miles and miles away from anyone and everyone is not and cannot possibly be a very healthy situation. All his activities, his charities, his sport, his military appointments have been taken from him. You know, Andrew never touched alcohol. Now, I don't know whether he started drinking lately because some paparazzi or journalist thought it was newsworthy to inform the world that Andrew ordered a kist with 6 bottles of champagne a couple of weeks ago. So whether that was for guests or himself, I don't know. I do know he never drank. He did not touch alcohol at all. I simply also cannot understand the sudden rush. Okay? Andrew has until October to vacate Royal Lodge. But instead, most of his stuff has been moved out already. Some into storage, and he will be staying in Wood Farm Cottage until Marsh Farm is done, until the renovations are done. Now, I don't know whether it is just gaslighting or PR or whether it is actually true that Eugenie is now no longer speaking to her father. Strangely, my usual contributors also don't know. They also saw it in the media and social media just like we did. Like the one bloke said, it would be strange if it is indeed true because Eugenie is the one out of the 2 girls who has absolutely nothing to be uppity about. Okay, let's check in on Harry and Meghan. Oh my goodness, are any of you as sick of them as I am? First, I could not stand their faces anymore. Now I can't stand their voices or even just hearing their names. I'm really up to the gills and beyond of the unfairness and the 2-tier justice system. And no, it's not just 2-tier here in Britain. It is everywhere. Everywhere. It is the same in South Africa. It is definitely the same in the United States. Now look, we don't have to guess. I think it is completely and utterly common sense that Harry lied on his visa application. Because if he didn't lie, he would not have been able to stay in the first place. So by law, he is in the United States under false pretenses. Then, as a foreigner, he used drugs on American soil. Now, under federal law, that is illegal, even if you live in woke California. Then I believe that there is some sort of IRS investigation into the now defunct Archwell Foundation. I also hear via the grapevine that Meghan has credit card debts and other debt, which would send us into the depths of despair or jail. Like one person jokingly said, Meghan's debt is bigger than the GDP of a small country. Now, I said this before. I saw it coming because Meghan takes after her mother. She has no issue spending someone else's money. Her entire family was bankrupt at some point in their lives. So for her, it's no biggie. It just is what it is. You know, she thinks that she's better than her brother and sister, better than her father. And if it wasn't convenient to have a black mother these days, then Doria would also have been dumped in the forgettable box. It also appears that she had taught Harry to be a financial disaster. I can just hear her say to him, "We have to spend some to make some, Harry," or H, or has been. Anyway, I see little H has hired a PR firm for the Birmingham Games 2027. It reads that Run Communications will handle media relations, social media, etc., alongside Good Form and Champions. Okay, please explain. Run Communications is what its name says, a media communications firm. Good Form is a digital marketing firm, and Champions organize commercial sponsorship. Cool. But couldn't I find a firm who could do it all? And why do you still have Sam Newell, Communications Director, Paul Saunders, the Digital Communications Manager? What are they for then? Or are they just wallflowers, paid wallflowers? This seems to become Archwell Foundation Meghan Markle Show 2.0, because I said this before as well. Harry and Meghan employed a communications manager, a social media manager, a director of communications, a deputy director of communications, a public relations manager, a public relations director, an international director of communications, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Now, I may be exaggerating, but not much. All these communications managers and directors, and not a single word about a lowly secretary or a bookkeeper. I mean, no wonder poor Megsy One Tear Left Eye is fast on her way to bankrupt them. And then she will destroy everything Harry had. He had already lost Centibale due largely to his wife's behavior. So what is he going to lose next? Invictus? It certainly looks like it. It is my guess that if he hangs in there with Meghan and he lends his ears to Meghan, he will likely end up with less than Andrew. Okay, guys and girls, I will be back tomorrow. Please take care and stay safe. Until then, bye.